So just coming into whatever seat is comfortable, closing your eyes. You made it. Technology issues and all. And I'm sure, yeah, people will pop in as we're here because there were some other tech issues. That's okay. The beauty of yoga is it teaches us to be flexible both in the body and in the mind. So when you're ready to, you can find a comfortable seat. Bring your hands into your lap. Start to tune in to what's going on in your body tonight. How are you feeling? What is the experience of being you right now like? You don't need to push any experiences away. Just simply be willing to feel. Be willing to be. And be willing to be curious. So as we move through our practice tonight, which is focused on the spine, we'll look at the 6 movements of the spine. But within that channel, within that column, um, our energy centers, our chakras. And so pay particular attention as we're moving and as we're breathing to the flow of energy through your body. You don't have to give it a name, just notice. Maybe you feel things moving. Maybe you don't. All I'm asking is that tonight you just simply be open to that. Starting to tune into your breath while we're here. Inhaling in through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Seeing if you can pay close attention to the temperature of the breath as it passes into the nostrils as you breathe in. You're noticing the coolness. Noticing how the breath has warmed as you breathe out through the nose. And starting to focus on the sound of your breath. So creating a little bit of whisper as you inhale and a little whisper as you exhale. You do this by constricting the muscles in the back of the throat as if you're trying to fog a window or whisper, the whisper muscles. Just breathing at your own rate, but inhaling fully and allowing the belly and the rib cage to expand. And as you exhale, emptying all the way out, low into the abdomen, giving your belly a little squeeze, squeezing the organs. Inhale as you expand, finding that little bit of a whisper. And exhale through the contraction, squeezing at the end, giving yourself a little abdominal toning, really. Inhale and exhale. On the next inhale, let the shoulders rise up by the ears. The shoulders press straight back and squeeze the shoulder blades together. As the shoulder blades squeeze together, reach through the crown of the head and then press the head back slightly. So not all the way back, but just slightly. And if you'd like to put a hand behind the head, you can. Then you can press the head into the hand and resist with the hand as the shoulder blades squeeze back. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, releasing the squeezing of the shoulders, let the shoulders relax down, the pressing back of the head, let go. Just kind of make a note of what the body is feeling like right now. On the next inhale, we'll come forward to all fours. Starting to add or move through some movements of the spine here. We'll start with cat-cow. Inhale as we arch, lift the tail, draw the heart forward, bring the gaze forward. And exhale as you press and round. Inhale, lift the tail, belly drops down, heart comes through the arms and forward. Gaze comes up, and then exhale, reversing that. So tail draws down, belly draws in, middle back pushes to the sky, gaze comes in towards the navel. Inhale, arch. Just taking your time, moving with your breath like a wave. Imagining your spine as a wave and moving in that way. Exhale. Inhale, arch. And exhale. One more. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Come forward here. Inhale and arch. Let the chest sink down a little. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Bring the gaze forward. Lift the tail. Get long across the front of the abdomen. Imagine that you're moving your thigh bones away from the rib cage. So the front of the body gets longer without crunching down to the back of the body. And then as you exhale, round, and then hips to heel, child's pose. So we'll move through a few rounds like that. Inhale forward to all fours. Arch, get long through the front of the body. Create a little traction, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest. Gaze comes up. And then releasing that engagement as you press back, child's pose. Inhale, forward, arch, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest. And exhale, round. Inhale, forward and arch. And exhale, round. Coming back to child's pose. And just taking a few rounds of breath here. On the next inhale, come forward to all fours. Lift the tail, press into the hands. So instead of the shoulders squeezing together, press the earth away so the upper back fills up. Curl the toes under and come up and back to your first down dog. Whatever that down dog looks like is what it looks like for you tonight. Maybe pedaling a little from side to side, seeing if you can get long through the side waist. And coming back through center. Lift the tail and round. So tail goes up, then we round, belly draws in, belly draws in, belly draws in. We're going to roll forward to plank pose. Let's see if you can move again like a wave. Pause in plank. Take a few rounds of breath here. Keep pressing the earth away, filling up the upper back. Belly squeezes in. Knees down, hips to heels, child's pose. On the next inhale, walk the hands over to the left. Crawl the right fingertips away. Breathe into the right side body. Get a little bit longer through that right side. And because the muscles like to be contracted, maybe you crawl away with the right hand, grab onto the ground, and then pull back just a little with like 5% of your effort. So turn on the muscles underneath the armpit and get a little bit more space. On the next inhale, we'll walk the hands back through center. Take a pause here. Just let the forehead rest on the earth or on the back of your hands. And observe the body. Notice the right and the left, what's going on, what you're experiencing. On the next inhale, walk the hands over to the right. Left fingertips crawl away. Maybe again, gripping through the left fingertips and pulling back with a little bit of effort, 5% or so of your effort, just enough that you're feeling the muscles start to engage. They're not just kind of hanging out there and getting stretchy, but they're pulling back from the action of reaching away. On the next inhale, walk back through center. Hands reach out in front of you. Crawl the fingertips out. Crawl, crawl, crawl until the forearms come off the mat. Press down to the hands so the shoulders pop up a little bit. Take the outer arms and roll them out and down. So biceps will roll in and towards the sky. A little external rotation of the arm bones, just turning on the shoulders. And then on the next inhale, coming forward, curl the toes, and press up and back to down dog. Inhale as we look forward to the hands, and then exhale, let's walk the feet to the front of the mat. Bringing the feet to about hip width distance, maybe a little bit wider to start. You can bend the knees and let the rib cage fall towards the thighs. Let the head release down. Maybe adding in a little movement here. But really just noticing, what does it feel like to breathe into the back of the rib cage? What does it feel like to let the head release down towards the ground and create space in the back of the neck without strain, without the strain of looking at a screen? On the next inhale, give a little bit longer, bend the knees, bring the hands to the shins. And then from here, lift the tail. So we have a tendency when we fold to sometimes tuck the tail under. Lift the tail like we did in cow pose, get a little J-Lo action going. And then start to turn on the muscles of the low back. Can you walk the hands up to the thighs? Pull the belly in and get a little bit of a back bend going on, a little shortening of this space here until you feel those muscles turn on. Can you then squeeze the shoulder blades together? Press into the hands a little bit more. Let the chest come forward a little bit more. Let the gaze come forward. Pull the belly in. Keep breathing here. And then inhale, gaze comes forward a little bit more. Not cranking the neck back, but just kind of bringing the eyeballs forward. The chin gets long. And then take a fold forward as you exhale. Let's do 2 more of those with all that fun muscle engagement. But now we're going to add in the legs too. So press down into your heels and then pull your heels isometrically apart. So you turn on the outer hip. So the heels press down and they pull apart. Keep the knees soft. Let the hands come to the shins. So knees might be bent a lot. Lift the tail. Engage the low back, so shorten those low back muscles. Maybe that means lift the chest a little, walk the hands up to the thighs. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift the chest forward. Keep pressing down into the heels, pulling them apart and looking forward. So gaze draws forward. Front of the throat gets long, so not lifting up again, but think about lengthening the front of the throat while keeping the back of the neck long, as if somebody's grabbing onto your skull and pulling it towards the wall or whatever is in front of you. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Take one full breath in here and a breath out. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Take a few breaths here. Just see if you can feel the engagement you just had going on in the low back. What does it feel like in this position? Can you find a little bit of space? On the next inhale, the hands come back to the shin. Press down into the heels and pull them apart. Lift the tail. Low back starts to engage, so we squeeze, hands come up, belly pulls in, chest comes forward, gaze comes forward, get long through the neck, throat reaches forward, gaze, eyeballs looking forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Did I say that? I didn't do it, so take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, release and fold forward. Maybe add in a little movement here. On the next inhale, press into the heels, bend the knees, lift the chest and come up to stand. So take a moment to bring the feet back to hip width distance or to what works for your body. Hands down by your sides, palms come forward, so shoulders rise up, shoulders squeeze back, so shoulder blades squeeze together. And then see if you can let the shoulders move away from the neck, not by relaxing them down, but by using the strength of your mid-back muscles to draw them down. And then take the skull and press it straight back until it feels like it lines up with the back of the body. We have a tendency to kind of hang out here. Can you find that place in your own body? That is, if your eyes are open, you'd be looking straight out at the horizon. The muscles on the back of the neck, the upper back, are probably engaged just a little bit, not a lot. Take one more breath here. And then on the next inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Let go of that drawing down of the shoulders. Let the shoulders rise up. See if you can reach your sky, whatever it might be. And then take a fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Bend the knees, keep the right foot where it is, and step the left foot back. Left knee comes down here. This might be the time where you grab your blanket. Oh, I forgot my My Little Pony blanket. Flat, letting the pelvis slide forward. And then isometrically contract. So drag the back knee in towards the front heel. So as the legs squeeze together, the underside of the legs, the front of this leg, the underside of the front, the inside of both legs starts to turn on. Left fingertips or hand palm can come down to the ground or maybe to a block. And grow longer, like let the spine grow forward. Belly squeezes in. Right hand comes to the right knee or thigh. And then start to find a spine twist here. So belly spinning towards that right inner thigh, belly button. Maybe the right arm comes to the sky here. Releasing back to center. We'll step the right foot back so we come Hands and knees. Let's move through a few rounds of cat-cow here. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Inhale, arch. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. From this place, we're going to step the left foot forward. So if we stay on the knees, swing the left foot out and around. How you get there doesn't really matter this evening. And again, maybe that right hand is on a block. Maybe you're on tented fingertips. Left hand comes to the knee or thigh, belly pulls in and up, and we spin, finding a twist through the spine. Left arm can come to the sky if that works for you, or you can stay right here. Inhale as you release back through center. This time we're going to step forward. So heel toe the left foot out to the left, turn the toes out slightly. So my foot's all the way at the edge of the mat. Let the fingertips come down, lift the back knee, lift the back hip up, and then step the right foot out, again, wide on the mat. And maybe you take a kind of a high malasana. If you have a lot of mobility, you might come down a little bit further. Maybe you come here. Press straight down into the heels. And think about sending the butt back. Maybe even use a block underneath the hands or a piece of furniture underneath the hands. Send the butt back. Lift the chest. Bring the gaze forward. And even if you're really low in the pose, press down into the feet. So the underside of your hips, of your thighs, the back of your legs, all turns on. One more breath. Probably your hip flexors. Lift the hips, turn the heels back to parallel. So feet come to parallel, you can heel toe back to about hip width distance. And take a few rounds of breath here. Release the hands down towards the mat. Inhale as you lengthen out to a flat back. Plant the hands down and step back to down dog. So we're going to flow through here like we did earlier, down dog to plank. Bend the knees maybe quite a bit. And then lift the tail. Imagine that your spine is a wave. And we draw the tail under. We roll through the spine all the way up to plank. And then bend the knees. Skim the shins along the ground and slide back to down dog. Let's do 2 more of those. So roll forward. Bend the knees, slide back. I'm like breathing my shirt into my nose. Roll forward. Skim the ground with the knees. Roll back, down dog. And then pedal out here. Reach the right leg back behind, hopefully without kicking a television. Take the right knee and bring it across to the left elbow. A little core plank, and then come back. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Pause here. Maybe catch your breath. Set up your high lunge. So feet are on a train track, not a balance beam. Press straight down through the front heel. Take the back foot and drag it in isometrically towards the front heel, and then rise up to a high lunge. So here's the thing about the pose today. You want to be really solid in the legs. So keep pressing down through the front heel. Keep hugging in on a diagonal, heel to heel. Reach back through the back heel so the leg stays firm. And then we're going to reach the right arm straight out to the right, like right out from your right shoulder. Left arm comes straight to the sky. Without falling over, press down into the imaginary shelf on your right side so that you don't fall over. Hug the legs in And take a little side bend over towards the right. So left arm reaches up, 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 over, over, over. Right hand presses down. And then back through center. Yay, yay. Let the hands come down. Step back, down dog. Take a breath or two here. And then inhale, reach the left leg back. So left foot, knee to right elbow is where we're going. So inhale here. Exhale, cross the body. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, across. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, step it through. Coming back to that high lunge position. Press straight down to that front heel. Maybe take a breath or 15. Feet again are on a train track, not a balance beam. Press down into the front heel. Rise up to a high lunge. So press straight down, hug the feet isometrically towards each other, and then reach the heel back so the back leg straightens. Left arm comes straight out to the side, straight out from the shoulder. Then you're gonna press down into that imaginary shelf that's holding you up. Reach the right arm to the sky. Breathe, lengthen through the right side and take a side bend. Keep rooting down through the feet. The rooting down and the pressing down helps you from falling over. Inhale as we come back up through center. Plant the hands. Step back, down dog. Roll forward to plank. Knees down, child's pose. Let's take a few breaths here. We'll take one more breath here. And we'll find our way again, crawling the hands out, pressing down into the pads of the fingers, lifting the shoulders up, curling the toes, come up and back to down dog. Reach the right leg back behind here as you inhale. As you exhale, hug the right knee to the left elbow. I promise we're not doing more core planks. And we're gonna send the left leg straight out to the left. Let the back heel drop over. Press down into that front hand and lift the hips for a fallen triangle. So a little side plank variation here. You can also be here with knee down. And this is where it gets fun, stretchy fun. Both hands are down, let the top arm come around. Let the hip come down to the ground, to a block, to your blanket, to a pillow. I'll demonstrate it with a block. And then start to crawl the torso forward. Reach the left heel back. And take a few breaths here. So right leg is extended out to my left side. My pelvis is facing towards the side, but I'm wrapping that back leg in, like internally down. So my toes on the back leg are down. I'm trying to rotate the chest down. This is a twist, a pretty deep twist. Let the hands come underneath the shoulders. Press down into the hands. Back to down dog. From here, we'll inhale, reach the left leg back behind. Hug the left knee in over towards that right elbow. I'm going to switch so that I don't hit my couch. Step the left leg through. Left hip comes down to a block. Oh no, it's just kidding. Side plank first. Press down into the left hand. Take a fallen triangle variation here. So here, maybe the bottom knee comes down. And then the top arm comes down. If the knee is down, leg can extend, coming down onto the hip. So you can set up here, then reach the right leg back. Reach the torso forward, get longer here. Belly draws in for a little bit more twist. Think about spinning the right side of the rib cage towards the ground. And you can play around with that left foot. Maybe you point it, maybe you flex it, maybe you move the foot up towards the shoulders a little bit more. It just has to do with your mobility right now. Let the hands come underneath the shoulders, slowly pressing up. Come back to down dog, bend the knees, roll forward and through to plank. Knees down, belly down. So just take a moment here and take a cobra of your variation. So if you're like cobra is part of your practice, just go for it. Otherwise, fingertips can come off, shoulders up by the ears, shoulders squeeze back, press into the hands, draw the chest forward, the chin comes forward, the throat lifts forward, and then slowly releasing back down. From here, pressing into the hands, sliding the hips back. We'll come almost to child's pose, halfway between table and child's pose. And inhale, open the left arm to the sky, open across the chest. Exhale as we thread underneath the right arm. Left shoulder comes down, side of the head comes down. You can take the right fingertips, crawl them away. I like to take the fingernails of this extended arm and press them down into the earth. And act as if I'm trying to grab on and pull as I'm reaching and trying to find some space. So while the twist here might be the right side is opening towards the sky, the left side is sweeping underneath. At the same time, I might squeeze in and pull back just with 5% of my effort, reversing, like going in the other direction of the twist. Coming back through center, plant the hands down. We'll take a few rounds of cat-cow here. So just inhale, arch, and exhale around, just moving with your breath. Maybe you slide back a little. Maybe you come forward a little. Maybe you're up on tented fingers. Using this time, this pose, this little flow that we do regularly to just kind of open up the energy channels again. And then coming back through center when you're ready. Again, hips are kind of halfway between, you're halfway between table and child's pose. Inhales, the right arm opens to the sky. Exhales, you throw the right arm underneath. Spin myself back around, you stay right where you are. Let the shoulder come down. Fingernails again pressed into the earth, as if you're trying to grab and pull back. Maybe the left arm reaches above the head. So at the same time that you're trying to spin the belly button towards your left,
the left side of the left armpit, maybe a little bit more towards the sky. You're also pulling back. So the left armpit is pulling towards the earth at the same time. Body actually feels a little bit safer when you do that. You get a little bit more space, especially when we start doing spine stuff. Letting go of all of that. Coming back through center. Let the hands come down. Find your flow once again. Inhale, arch, and exhale round. It's moving with your breath, moving in a way that feels good to you. Just allow yourself to kind of tune into your own inner flow of energy. And then once you're ready to do so, we'll come to a seated position. So if Agni Stam, my watch is talking to me, sorry about that. If Agni Stambhasana does not work for you, if fire log pose or double pigeon doesn't work for you, you can always do pigeon or figure four on your back. But we're going to start with the left foot drawing in. And then see if you can find your sits bones. Oftentimes what happens is we do this round thing, especially with the couch behind me, maybe you come to sit on a blanket and then draw the right leg in. Like think squeeze the knee in, bring the foot across so my foot is like above my leg. Ankle bone comes out to the thigh bone. So ankle bone here comes out to the left thigh bone. And then for some of us, what might happen is we might be like, okay, this feels terrible. That's okay. Take the right sits bone, that would be the top leg's butt, and send it back. So think anterior tilt on the right side. Send that side of the butt back and see if you can create a little bit more tilt through the pelvis. And then see if you can use the strength of your hip to hug the knee down. It doesn't matter how far down it goes. It can be incremental, just so that you're like, oh, hey, there's some muscles there that are turning on. Cool. Come back to that anterior tilt. Come back to that little J-Lo action, send the booty back. Little low back muscles turn on. And take a moment here. You might be like, okay, are we done? That's fine. You can stay right there. That is your edge this evening. You can also kind of play around with, so it's this variation is targeting the right hip, the hip of the top leg. So you can take your left hand and bring it outside your right foot. So bring it down to the mat outside your right foot. Bring the right arm towards the sky. So we're going to come in a diagonal towards the foot. I know this is probably not a real big space from your right shoulder to your right foot, but imagine that it is. Let the left fingertips crawl out a little. Get long through the right side body and start to let the belly button spin towards the right knee. And then keep crawling away with the left hand. Keep reaching away with the right. And then once you get to a place where you're like, okay, my left hand's not going any further, press down into it to lift a little bit more. So use the strength of that left arm. Keep pressing down through the right knee. And then as much as you're reaching away, like reaching here, pressing down, can you pull back just with like 3 or 4%? Can you pull back? And then see what happens. You might notice like, oh, okay, I have a little bit more space. So now that I pull back, my left hand actually will walk out a little bit further. I pull back again, reach away, but pull back at the same time. You can let go of all this funky reaching that I had you doing. If you want to fold towards that right foot, you can. If you want to fold towards the center, you can. And slowly lifting back through the spine. We'll uncross the legs. So if this is a lot on you, you can lean back and the knee will pop up. I don't have any room to lean back, but and then we'll draw the left foot in. So coming to the other side, same idea. Let the knee hug in, let the foot lift up. All you're doing is straightening the leg a little, and then bring it across. From the hip joint, right? Let the ankle bone come to the thigh. And then once you're here, see if you can send that left sits bone, that left side of the pelvis back just a little bit more. And you'll notice that right and left are different. That's okay. Then take a moment here. Can you find that strength through the outer hip by pressing down through the knee? I don't mean with your hand. I mean, can you use the strength of the hip? You might feel a lot or a little sensation here. I feel a lot on this side. So because I feel a little bit more sensation on this side, I'm going to karate chop a little bit harder through the pinky side edge of my foot, just to make sure it stays in my hip and doesn't jump down to my knee. And then letting the right fingertips come outside of that left foot. Left arm comes to the sky. So getting long, breathing into the left side body. Spinning the belly button towards the left knee. Letting that right hand walk out a little. Letting the left hand reach away. Press down into the right hand once you're as far as you're going. And then at the same time as you reach away, pull back. It's like 2%. So if you're getting long through the side body, think about pulling back, engaging those oblique muscles. You get a little bonus of a core workout here. Turn the QL on just a smidge. With all the reaching and pressing, you can let go. Let the top arm come down. Maybe it's towards that right foot. Maybe it's straight down in the center. Maybe you're a little bit more upright on this side. But continuing to chop through the foot, press down through the knee, hug the left outer hip back. Slowly lifting back through the spine here, letting go of the legs. Let's bring the legs out, not like as far as you normally would in a straddle, but just so the legs can be straight and the thigh bones are out of the way of the pelvis. So for me, that's usually about this distance. And then take a moment here, find a little anterior tilt, and then before you go anywhere, bend the knees, press down into the heels, pull the heels back, so turn on those hamstring muscles, the back of the legs. And then as you, just like we've done this, like engage, reach away, engage back, as you anterior tilt, engage the muscles of the low back. Can you, without moving, engage the muscles that tuck the tail? That's the underside of the buttocks. We're going to create a little hamstring space here. So we're going to engage those to protect the hamstring insertions. To get long through the spine. So again, heels press down, pull in, anterior tilt, and then like posterior tilt with 5% of your effort. And then maybe you start to crawl forward. Let the spine come forward. Maybe you find a place to rest if you're a little bit more upright. And notice where you experience the sensation in this pose. There's not a right or wrong necessarily. This pose does target the entire back body chain, so the whole thing from like the heels, actually the soles of the feet to the crown of the head. Where you're most likely to feel the sensation is where you're the tightest or where you're the weakest. So just kind of make note of those areas. And what you can do, the areas where you feel sensation, is try to engage those muscles where you're feeling the sensation. So again, if it's the hamstrings, you might try to pull in a little bit more with the heels, pull the heels like you're trying to bend the knee. If it's the underside of the butt, you might tuck the tail a little bit more. And take 2 more breaths here. And slowly lifting back through the spine. Just taking your time. We'll swing the legs around. We'll come along on the mat. So coming to lay down. Whatever position is going to work for you as far as your space goes. Doesn't matter if you're facing me or not for this. And then from this place, walking the feet in as close to your, like bending the knee as much as you can, walking the foot in as close to you as you can, but also opening the feet wider from right to left. So maybe almost mat with distance. And if you get one foot on either edge of the mat, make sure that you're in the center of the mat. So sometimes we don't lay down there, so you might press down into the feet, lift the hips up, and what will happen is automatically your body will jump to center. You can come back down here. And then from this place, let both knees drop towards the left as far as they will go for your body. So this is not like the goal of getting the knees down. It's a totally different pelvic position. That's okay. We're just looking at something a little differently. And then breathing into the right side of the abdomen. Can you feel space in the right side waist, the right side of the belly, maybe above the right hip, a little bit onto the torso? And we'll come back through center here, press into the feet. Scoot the hips over to the right, like 3 to 5 inches. And then you can let the left foot come back to center, hug the right knee in, and we'll add a different variation on a spine twist. So both knees coming to the left again. The knees are staggered, getting a little bit deeper of a twist. Seeing if you can just kind of cinch in through the belly here. Squeezing the belly in, transverse abdominis hugging in towards the spine. Those girdle muscles, really what they do is support the spine. And then slowly releasing back to center when you're ready to do so, letting both feet come flat to the ground and just taking a moment and noticing from the base of the spine to the crown of the head and back again, just noticing that line along the spine, the energy centers of the chakras. And then once you're ready to do so, the feet can open back up to hip width, no, to mat width distance. Again, recentering yourself on the mat. Walking the feet in as close to you as possible. This is so your legs don't go that far. And then letting both knees drop to the right. And again, breathing into the areas where you feel, where you experience sensation. Seeing if you can pay attention to the left, the front of the left side of the pelvis, the outer hip, up into the side waist, up to the rib cage. Can you send your breath into that area of the body? On the next inhale, we'll come back through center. Press down to the feet and move the hips over to the left 3 or 4 inches. Let the right foot come back to the center of the mat. Left knee hugs in, and then we're twisting towards the right. And so deepening that awareness of the left side waist, the left rib cage, giving the belly, the transverse little squeeze in, hugging in a little bit more. And slowly releasing back through center. And again, noticing the energy channels in the body. You might extend the legs here. If there's any final poses you'd like to take, you can certainly do so. But as you're settling into your final rest, to your Shavasana, can you take a moment and just scan the spine, the energy channels, just noticing the 360 degrees around each chakra, around each energy center in the body. Even if you don't know specifically where they are, can you just create some space? And I invite you as you close your eyes to just notice, is there a color that arises for you, that shows up? It doesn't matter what the color is, but can you see it? And if you can't, that's okay too. But just see if you can notice and keep in your mind's eye whatever color pops up for you intuitively. You don't have to try, it's not something to have effort at. Maybe noticing any areas where energy has shifted. Taking this time to be, to breathe, and to allow yourself to experience. Begin to draw some awareness back to your breath. Deepening the inhalation and the exhalation. Drawing some awareness back to the body. Noticing your body's connection to the earth, the air around you. Starting to add in some movements. Starting with smaller movements like wiggling the fingers and toes. And then allowing those movements to slowly and naturally become larger. Thinking about coming out of Shavasana like awakening in the morning. Adding in whatever movements your body is craving. And then once you're ready to do so, slowly finding your way to a seated position. Bringing the thumbs to the sternum, to the breastbone, palms together. And just taking a moment here and see if you can draw to your mind's eye the movement of energy from the base of the spine to the crown of the head and back again. It doesn't matter how it shows up for you, but just see if you can notice. Can you become more aware of the energy as it flows through your body? Can you stay in that flow? Can you be in that flow as we move through our life off of the mat? Namaste.